Welcome, everyone. I'm Tracy Fitzpatrick, and I'll be your moderator today. Thank you so much for joining us here at Netcom Learning, a market leader in promoting lifelong learning, training, and talent development solutions. We are very excited to host today's event, Unleashing the Power of Cyber Threat Hunting, Techniques and Best Practices. And presenting today's topic is Tom Updegrove. Excelling in the field of security technology and tools, Tom is an information security expert with over 35 years of experience. He has extensive experience in computer network security, firewalls, switches, IDS, VPNs, remote access, disaster recovery, and backup planning. Tom has worked on the creation and deployment of solutions for protecting networks, systems, and information assets for over 10 years for diverse organizations. He also has a strong knowledge of virtual computing, especially virtual training environments for practical ethical hacking. His training techniques have a proven track record of delivering in-depth knowledge of his practice areas. Now, please bear in mind that this is an overview of a very robust topic. We offer a collection of technical and business courses that can be tailored to your specific requirements. If you are interested in a further discussion, you can make an appointment with our learning consultants through our website at netcomlearning.com. Today's session is also being recorded, so you'll get free access to the recording in the next 24 hours via email. Netcom Learning helps customers build innovative learning organizations by achieving a smarter workforce, adapting to change, and driving growth. We do this with a broad catalog of offerings, developing customized learning plans, and our global delivery capabilities. Since 1998, we have been empowering organizations with our managed learning services to help them reach optimal performance results and address challenges. We do have 9 practice areas in which we specialize. They encompass people, process, and technology training. And today's presentation is from the security practice area. Netcom Learning offers a comprehensive training portfolio of courses for the topic being covered today. Our upcoming classes include various trainings on the given courses. You can also access a variety of marketing assets, such as the free training and blogs, by clicking on the available event handout. These offerings can be found with a simple search on our website at netcomlearning.com. In today's session, we'll discuss about cyber threat hunting, which is a proactive security measure that involves actively searching for potential threats, and about various aspects of cyber threat hunting, including techniques, process, best practices, and real-world examples. And now I would like to give you a quick overview of the logistics before we get started. To begin with, you do have the option to view in full screen by clicking on the full screen button on the right side of the GoToWebinar viewer. Simply hit the escape key to exit the full screen. Everyone has been muted except for our presenters. Feel free to submit any questions you have for the presenters here in the questions pane, and we will address them at the end of the session. And to get the best out of today's events, we've included the slides, courses we talk about, and marketing assets in the handout section of your GoToWebinar viewer. You may refer to them at any time to get a better understanding of today's topic. And we do realize that some of you may have to leave early, and want to let you know that as you do leave the session today, you will be presented with a short survey. We would like to request for you to take a quick moment to participate in that survey. Your feedback really helps us understand your learning experience and improve our future sessions for you. The survey answers are measured on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 representing outstanding and 1 representing poor. And now I'd like to pass this over to our trainer to present today's topic. Hey, Tom, thank you so much for joining us today.
Good morning. My name is Tom Updegrove. I am a presenter for Netcom Learning. I'm also a cybersecurity instructor as well as a cybersecurity consultant. Today, we're going to talk about the power of threat hunting, cyber threat hunting, techniques and best practices. What I would like to do is give you a little better idea of what the agenda is here today. Right. So some of the tools that are used in cyber threat hunting. Talk a little bit about the threat intelligence, what analysts should be using, because that's who actually does the hunting. Right. Some of the skills that make threat hunting successful. How you as well could be successful, and what some of the applications for threat analysis are. Some of the trends and tactics in cybercrime. All we know is that I wish the economy was as good as the increase in cybercrime. Anyway. Effective capabilities, training for other aspects of threat analysis as well. And I'm sure we'll probably have some questions and comments at the end of this presentation. And so what is threat hunting? Okay. Again, it is looking for risk and vulnerabilities in our information technology systems. Okay, and there are really four major objectives and steps in this. Okay, define your objectives and scope. More or less, what is a threat? Okay, how do they get into our system? How can we utilize, learn from those threats, and as well, exactly how deep do we want to go into this? Okay, what would be the scope of our threat hunting? Okay, because we could spend time and money to achieve those objectives, right? The triple constraints. We gather data. Through various means. We might have some type of information event collection. We might be gathering packet data. We might be using automated tools. We might be using manual tools. But once we've kind of defined that scope, defined that area, we want to be looking at the data. And then what does the data tell us? Third step, right? We need to validate any potential threats that we found. Okay, this certainly takes both automated systems. AI is getting much better at this, But sometimes, we really the last part is we can't trust the automated systems completely. That's where human interaction takes place. So sometimes we need to manually get down into the depth of the packet, okay, and break it apart and try to understand what it's telling us. Okay? We need to learn from that information and then respond to the threats. So that not only we respond, we want to be able to create a greater defense, a greater protection from that information. Okay? So we can develop stronger shields. Threat intelligence is really pretty much where we start. What is a threat? And where's it at? You'll find that throughout the internet, there are sensors that are picking this up. And there are information collectors and information agencies that are gathering this data for us. And so in terms of a definition, right, cyber threat intelligence is information about threats and threat actors that help mitigate harmful events in cyberspace. Okay? We need to know every detail about the threat, where it originated, who coded it, who has modified it, how it's delivered, the kind of damage it does, numerous other traits and signifiers. Okay? This is very helpful for us. Okay? Nice picture. Okay? But why is it important? Because it helps to detect existing, evolving, emerging threats. It gives a little chance to predict the future and where exactly those threats are coming from. And we can, in a sense, head them off at the pass. By having a more proactive cybersecurity posture, we are empowering organizations. I like the term having a strong cybersecurity posture. Okay? We want to be predictive and not just reactive. Okay? Reactive is like Chicken Little running around like the sky is falling, right? The more we know, the better the sources of information, the more improved our detection of those threats are. And it also ultimately gives us better decision making during, following the detection of cyber intrusion. And so we might say that there are three different types of threat intelligence: the tactical, the operational, and the strategic. And I think I can better break down these types of threat intelligence, these three different areas, with my next slide. I mean, there's some good information in here in terms of what happens. Like the tactical is really picking up um, a file hash. So it's a kind of signature-based detection, but this is how antivirus or endpoint protection works for the most part. We can run a hash. A hash is a one-way encryption of a file that we know can help us preserve the integrity of that file. At the same time, if we have a threat, such as a virus or a Trojan or a worm, and we run that same one-way encryption against that threat, it gives us a particular hash for it. So we can look for those hashes in our system to help identify, or maybe actually elements or parts or some aspects. In the same way, we're looking in the memory of the systems for that. Okay? From an operational point of view, exactly what kind of tools and techniques are we doing? What are our procedures? Okay? And from the strategic end, exactly how is the organization actually behind it? Okay? It's very important that they're driving the threat analysis, threat hunting, risk mitigation from the top. Okay? I think it might be a better way to kind of describe it. If the tactical might be the mechanic, of a race car. Okay, whereas the operational is the actual driver. Okay? And the strategic is the actual owner. This might be the organization that actually runs the race. The drivers that really are involved in the races and run the different circuits, right? And and mechanics are the ones that keep it all running. Okay, without them, nothing's going to happen. And so, it takes everybody. It takes a team really to make this happen. And quite often we see maybe from the strategic level the funding isn't there. Today we see that there is a bit of cutting back on funding for it, and that can make things really difficult for the operational and tactical people because they may not have the equipment. They may be shorthanded. It's harder to see these things. And maybe, here's a case where, at least for the low-hanging fruit, AI systems, can pick this up. The automated systems are much better at it. So. Some other elements of threat intelligence would be to be able to look at the kind of evidence that we obtain from malware analysis. Okay, so that, our feelers have told us that there are certain, say, ransomware tools that are out there, ransomware gangs that are active, and they may be active in certain regions. So the information has told us that. So from that, we might have a hash of that. We might be able to look for particular files that might be that this particular form of ransomware creates. We know it'll look. So then we can start hunting in our system, for those particular things. The information that we get has to give us some utility, right? So that it could have a positive impact. Okay, we don't want to just, again, just start looking at everything. So it's helpful to have detail. And I'll give you an example. I was asked yesterday. There was an incident, and it was a security incident that was covered on video. But the framework that I was given was somewhere between 9:30 at night and 7 a.m. in the morning. Well, that's a broad area. It's much better if we can detail that and bring that down to an hour area, because it takes time to scan through the footage to find that particular incident. It takes time to do that. The more detailed we can be, the more effective we would be. Okay? It should be actionable in the sense, can we gain some intelligence from that and help us to control and build up better defenses in the future. Okay, so what can we draw from the data? So we can infer certain things. Certainly, we can infer what the costs are, what the expenditures are, not only the cost of cyber protection, but the cost of the failure of cyber protection. We should be able to draw our inferences from all that data. And so these elements are very, very important. Attribution. So when they say it was China, it's very hard to, that's why they usually don't say that, they think it was, because it's very, very difficult, especially by the way that cyber actors behave. The fact that they use web proxies, or they use server jumping, proxy hopping, use the dark web, the Tor network. Very, very difficult to follow. I mean, we're getting better at it, and I think that this is where AI can be really helpful. But even so, it always boils down to my favorite cartoon, Spy versus Spy, because as we get better at detection using tools, threat actors get better at using tools. Okay, it's like the increase and the escalation of nuclear warfare. Maybe we get to a point where it's just so much of a deterrent that we're at a stalemate. But for now, it's a wild, wild west, isn't it? Okay. Different Mandiant has certain reports. U.S. CERT, gives us certain reports as well. They're reporting about different APTs, or advanced persistent threat activities. Symantec, great source of information. Dragonfly, Waterbug Group, Seedworm, and other sources of threat intelligence. As I said, Mandiant, WebRoots, BrightCloud is one of the sources I use. CrowdStrike's very, very helpful. Digital Shadows, FireEye, Flashpoint, IBM. Look, IBM's been there since the beginning. You know that they have tremendous sources towards information. Kaspersky, although they're on the outs with the DoD, being a kind of a Russian-based group, they do some great work. They really do. They do some great work in terms of threat analysis and threat intelligence, and they find things that a lot of people don't. Okay? Tools, techniques, and procedures. Okay, so we have free and paid research tools. We have SIM, system information and management tools for that. Threat intelligence providers like the APIs, the application programming interfaces, that they give us that we can utilize. Network analysis frameworks, disassemblers, which tear apart binaries so that we can understand how this behavior of this malware is behaving, when it is actually operating in the memory of a system. Web proxies, which help us to understand what's happening on the back end when a request is made to a web server and reply comes back. Is there anybody manipulating that information? Different cybersecurity platforms. And briefly, these are some of your free and paid resource tools. SANS, VirusTotal, Cisco's Talos, VirusTotal, I think many people know. You can, if you found a bit of malware coding, you can upload it to VirusTotal, and they'll tell you how many incidents they have found, or maybe you were writing your own. Sometimes we do that as ethical hackers to see exactly how effective someone's defenses is against the stuff that we write. Spam house for spam, of course, for blacklisted spam servers. SIMs, these are some of your different SIM servers, SolarWinds, Splunk, well known, open source security tools, would be open source and free, but there's free and paid. Logarithm, AT&T, very big, RSA, NetWitness. Okay, really, NetWitness is really used more for forensic analysis. Okay, but very helpful stuff, right? Threat analysis provider APIs, right? They can also help us to really find connections between different entities, how things are talking. Network traffic analysis, very, very important to see exactly how a worm is spreading on the network. It can also help us from a performance end. Sometimes we might be applying tools that are causing network bottlenecking. There may be things impacting our Wi-Fi that we're not aware of. So we need to be able to have tools to look in on that. And today there's a lot of great stuff for that. Some of the tools that I'll use, Wireshark certainly is one of my favorite. Riverbed's Packet Analyzer, Colosoft's CAPTCHA. Even though it is a Chinese-made tool, it's a great tool for network traffic analysis. SolarWinds, Network Performance Monitor, Passler, Network Monitor. These are all some great stuff, great tools. Disassemblers, depending if you're going to be working with, depends on the type of coding that you're going to be working with, as well as the type of operating system you're working with. If you're working in Android, you would be using the APK tool or Dex2Jar. But EDB, OlidDBG, volatility, volatility will run, just about in any system. If you have a binary file. Okay. This is really important, and it's a very sophisticated skill. I mean, you decided to go into this business, this would be an area that you would be just working in solely. Okay. In terms of disassembling and debugging and looking at exactly how the code is operating, what are the signatures that we should be looking for, what kind of files it's creating. Okay. Very, very important area. Okay. Web proxies, my favorite is Burp Suite. But web proxies allow you to get in the middle of a conversation between a client and a web server, and to understand that conversation as well as can you manipulate the conversation. So sometimes we use it more as a penetration testing tool to see if we can break the back end. And sometimes we do it just to see what the conversation is, if there's anything that we need to strengthen, because Burp Suite will also do a pretty good analysis of the back end of the web server and tell you if you have any critical vulnerabilities in there. OWASP Z, a great tool. Again, it's an open source tool for looking at security issues. Paros, another one. And some of the platforms. So this is some of the bigger companies that do that. Cisco, of course, been around for a long time. Cisco has some great tools. Fortinet as well. These make some great systems. They have great firmware, great frameworks for that. Symantec, again, FireEye, Cyber because they run multiple tools, in their networks. Okay? They're not the only ones, but they're some of the better known ones. Training. So I happen to be a certified instructor for certified threat intelligence analysis, or for the analyst program. This is a CompTIA, or not CompTIA, this is a EC Council course that Netcom Learning actually provides. This is a great place to get started in. Okay? As well, there's some others. CyberSec First Responder Threat Detection Response. There's an AMP. They certainly got the exam for this. So this is really some of the courseware that you can do it. And I'm sure if you talk to a sales rep from Netcom, they could provide you there's many ways to get started. There's some very actually lower level courses. If you're just getting into the field, there's actually what they call mode or open, massively open online training that Netcom could lead you towards. And when we say online training, is relatively inexpensive. Great way to get your foot in the door, then move your way up. The idea is to get the industry certifications that employers are looking for, that will help you get your foot in the door. Okay? And with that, coming down to the wire, I thank you for your attendance, and hopefully you might have some questions for me at the end here. So what do you say, guys? Do we have any questions at all?
Thank you, Tom. That was most informative. I know everyone is looking forward to the Q&A session, so go ahead and start putting your questions into the questions panel. And while you do that, and now I'd like to give the presentation rights to Joby, our VP for Vendor Operations, to introduce our promotions and webinar-related courses.
All right, thank you. Thank you once again. My name is Joby Verghese. I'm the Director for Vendor and Products at Netcom, and I'm pleased to speak to all of you and tell you a few more things about Netcom Learning. And once again, on behalf of Netcom, we welcome you all for this event. I'm not going to take too much of your time. Briefly, I want to show what are the other benefits which Netcom offers to you as a technology learner. And we would like to quickly take you through our journey of how Netcom has reached this stage where we are, and what sort of numbers do we have. So we started in 1998. This was started by our CEO, Mr. Russell Sarder. At this point, we have a lot of awards which we have won. The notable among them is Microsoft's #1 training partner of the year. And if you look at most of the organizations we have serviced, especially the Fortune 1000, more than 80% of them we have serviced. We have served US military bases, all of them, in fact, more than 100 of them and counting. And then, our portfolio has got about 3,000 plus certified instructors. So at this point, as we speak, we have trained more than 175,000 professionals in IT and related fields as well. Uh, Most of our customers do like us. So, we've been recommended by 96% of our customers. Since we are talking about security, so security skilling is a program which Netcom has created for avid learners like you who are keen to learn more and at the same time enhance your career prospects and at the same time update and upgrade your skills. So what we have done is we have created a specific program. We call it as security skilling program, in which we have courses from CompTIA, EC Council, IC Square, Microsoft, AWS, and we're also shortly adding Cisco to this particular skilling program. While we all know that all these vendors whom you saw on the screen, all of them offer a lot of courses, but then what we tried to do was to create a roadmap for each of those vendors, and we have created specialities. A quick glance of that particular page is this. We would encourage you to visit us at netcom, www.netcomlearning.com, and get more information from here. These are the specialities we cover, and if you come here and click on various specialities, you'll get the courses which we cover on the right hand side. So this is our security skilling program. And if you look at the features, basically we have the best of the instructors. We have a global delivery capability. So wherever you are, United States, Canada, Europe, wherever you are, across the world, we have the capability to deliver programs. So if you or your organization needs it, please feel free to get in touch with us. We also have multiple learning modes. If you say that, virtual instructor led is something which you're interested in, or you want a private group training, or you are interested in self-paced, all those options are available in our security skilling program. And at this point, this has got more than 50 different courses and certifications from these vendors, which you see on the screen. Moving on, we also have a cybersecurity awareness training and phishing simulation solution for our customers. And this is one of those very important things, because we all talk about security, but we know that, one small error by an end user of an organization can risk the complete organization of its resources. Its digital infrastructure could be at risk, and of course the IP and the data as well. So, the end user training part of it, we have partnered with EC Council to offer a unique solution to our customers, which is basically to offer a phishing simulation solution. Along with that, more than 100 different courses to train the end users on safe, secure cyber practices. In terms of the security solution, this is what we do. In the simulation part of it, there are 3 types of simulations we offer: entice-to-click, credential harvesting, and sending an attachment. We also offer simulations on voice calls, and you could also do simulations on SMS, which is sending a message to your team members to check how do they react to a bait kind of a situation. If you say that you want to assign trainings directly to your learners, you could do that from this platform itself. So if you think this is of interest to you, please feel free to get in touch with us. We'll be able to give you a detailed information on this. Moving forward, we have a learning passport as a product. This is basically a savings plan in which, based on the product, based on the value you purchase, you get additional buying power or additional buying power. So effectively, your purchase per unit becomes lesser. So for example, if you take our learning savings passport, which is for premium, which is for $75,000, you get additional 60% value over and above $75,000. And we would match it with the course prices, and you could assign this value to your team members based on the specific trainings which you want them to take and the trainings which you want them to and which you want those learners to undergo. This has got more than 4,000 courses, and this is a 12-month option which is available. So within 12 months, you can assign trainings and consume the value which is given. Overall, when you look at it, this is effectively a 60% additional value which you get for the same price. This is in comparison to the list price, which is mentioned on our website. The next is Learning Voucher Passport. Voucher Passport is our another platform where another package which we offer to our customers. If you say that you have decided on the number of days of training, so you could work out basis the number of days. So let's say your budget is 100 training days and you have 20 people, which effectively means that you have 5 days of training to be assigned to every person. Again, here, when you invest let's say you purchase premium for $44,000, you get additional value in terms of number of days training. This is again an advantageous product if you think that your learning plans are ready for the year and you know how many days of training you need. And this could be definitely beneficial in comparison to the standard prices which are there on our website. We also have a subscription platform, and this is for individuals, and at the same time, this is also for people who are working, who are looking for training for their people within the organization. So we have 3 different types of subscriptions available. Silver, this is free. And to give you details about this silver subscription is that this is going to be free for everybody. So please do visit www.netcomlearning.com, and you will definitely get this access to the free subscription. In this, we offer more than 300 courses. The next one is gold subscription. It's priced at $199. You get 400 plus e-learning modules from various vendors. And the most popular subscription of ours in Netcom Plus is called as Platinum. This has got more than 400 e-learning modules, and at the same time, more than 100 virtual instructor-led classes at a small price of $2,999 per learner. Just in case you have a higher requirement in terms of value, you could also get in touch with us and we can try and work out a price which would match the volume which you're looking for. And this is our latest offering, and we would encourage you to visit us and get more details about it. We have some more resources on our website, courses and certifications. Obviously, that we have more than 4,000 courses and certifications. So please do visit our website. You'll get detailed information about the courses, the trainings, the certifications, the exams, and so on. We do run virtual events, the one which you're listening to, similar to that. We also run masterclasses at no cost to you. So please do visit our website and go to the event section. You would definitely find a lot of those options which are available there, or which could be of your interest. You could register for them and attend it. Some of the previous events, we do have recordings as well, which you can access at no cost to you. We do have blogs written by industry experts on various topics. Since you are a learner and you want to be updated, you want to keep yourself updated on various things, the latest topics in blogs would be available. We already spoke about the savings programs and promotions. Last but not the least, we are on LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. We constantly give updates of our offerings and promotions on these platforms. We would encourage you to visit us on these platforms as well and subscribe to us so that we we are able to give you the related information. That's all from my side. Thank you all once again for attending this event, and we look forward to seeing you in another one.
Thanks so much for guiding us through that information, Jobby. And now we're going to go ahead and jump right into our question and answer session. If you haven't yet, it's not too late to pop your questions into the question panel. And as we start our Q&A sessions, we're also going to launch a quick poll that we want to invite you to participate in. Doing so helps us to know how we can better serve you by telling us who might be interested in more information or in taking some additional training. In addition, we have a lot more informative webinars coming up, so please go to netcomlearning.com/webinars in order to register. First question is, I'm interested in starting with cyber threat hunting. Can you guide me on where to begin?
Yes. Well, if you review, just roll back to that last slide. I think that probably if I roll back here. Here, the CTIA is a great course to get you really to get in the door in terms of being a certified threat intelligence analyst. So not only would you know how to sit at a SIM, and be able to operate that in a functional way, but you also could you'll be a cyber threat consultant and work for various firms, as a freelancer. And so that would be one way to get started.
Could you please explain the different job roles in cyber threat hunting and why they're important? Also, who exactly needs the services of cyber threat hunters?
Every company every company, especially companies that have any type of compliance or Department of Defense, anybody who is a vendor working with the DoD, Department of Defense, any company, really, let's face it, every company needs some form of threat intelligence. If you would just roll through even like LinkedIn job listings, you're going to see, I think, the openings are in hundreds of thousands, for threat analysts. So the areas of threat, could it be anywhere? The problem I think sometimes is especially if you're just getting your foot in the door, it might, you get into any level of information technology, especially with a company that also has a cybersecurity team. Whether you're even doing help desks, you're even resetting passwords, whatever, get some time. You really need to learn your operating systems. You need to learn your networking. You need to get much firmer in those levels. And if you get just a little bit of that, and as you're evolving your training in terms of cybersecurity, threat analysis is a great area to move towards. You may have that kind of detective-based mentality. You kind of look at things. You like to solve puzzles. Okay, you would be a great person for that. So that's my suggestion in terms of that question.
Are there any open source or free tools that you can recommend for cyber threat hunting?
Yes, I mentioned a couple. So Wireshark, Burp Suite. Burp Suite is like Wireshark is just a open source tool. OWASP has some great tools that are free and open source. OWASP is a great source just for information. You might check the term MOOT, MOOT, massively open source online training. Okay, tons of stuff. Check with your NetCom salespeople. They can lead you towards some open source training. Nmap is again not necessarily a threat analysis tool, but it is a tool that can inject threats. You might look at a Parrot or the Parrot OS, which is a penetration testing Linux framework, which will provide you with tools like Metasploit, which is again a free open source penetration testing tool, which helps us to understand. So to understand a threat, you need to understand how that threat attacks. If you can understand from the attack side, you can understand from the defensive side. Okay, so Wireshark, Nmap, Parrot, Metasploit, Burp Suite. These are all free tools. And if you check the slides, I went back in the slides. I think I did right here. Virus total. So there's a lot of great stuff here that's out there. Okay?
Once again, I want to remind you that as you leave the session today, you will be presented with a short survey. We would like to request for you to help us by taking a quick moment to participate in that survey. Your feedback really helps us understand your learning experience as we are constantly looking at how we can improve our future sessions. The survey answers are measured on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 representing outstanding and 1 representing poor. We want to thank all of you for joining us today, and if you do come up with any additional questions, feel free to send them to webinar@netcomlearning.com at any time. We hope that you found today's webinar informative, and we look forward to seeing you back here with us soon. Feel free to tell your friends and colleagues about our webinars and other courses. Have a great day, everyone.